And this is actually very, very cool. He talks about here at the beginning of when he joined Nintendo in 1977, there was an announcement that they're going to talk about the new Nintendo Museum that's going to be opening in Japan coming up in October 2nd, which is very, very cool. The Nintendo Museum, which if you're a Nintendo freak like me, who it's tied to their childhood and nostalgia, and you still support them, hey, you're going to love this shit. They announced it. They showed it off for the first time. It looks very clean and nice. And you can see on the website exactly what is going on with this bad boy. It's meant to discover Nintendo's passion for and commitment to creating. And while a big part of it obviously will be video games, it also is going to talk about its history, Nintendo's history. And they released a video that kind of talked about the overall thing. It's about a 13-minute video where Miyamoto guides you through the whole place, and looks very, very cool. You know, it has some big controllers in the background. You can see that kind of represent the different eras. It has all the first-party games in the background, and it kind of shows.
Can you imagine just being Shigeru Miyamoto and you start out as this freaking toy company?
Yeah.
Like, and now you're walking through a museum of your digital work, like 30 plus 40 years later. Like, what? How did I even get here? Like, what happened?
Yeah, right.
Well, and that's the thing. I think when Shigeru Miyamoto goes, I think Nintendo takes a huge step back because he is the driving force behind this, man. Right. But they do reference and they do talk about a lot of the things that came before all the Nintendo games, and they have distinct. And let's just check this out really quick as he talks about it.
展示しています。これはコピラスといってジアゾ式のコピー機です。
I'll just kind of go through here, like the stroller and the BB gun.
Dude, the repeater. What is this?
Yeah, man. There's all sorts of stuff in here. Board games that they had. So it's not just video games. It's like their whole history, which is really, really neat. And they have a number of interactive and exhibits along the way. And this is actually very, very cool. He talks about here at the beginning of when he joined Nintendo in 1977, they would go to these break rooms, and they've recreated these break rooms for these little exhibits that they have. And one of them is for this this more or less baseball pitcher, where they would send the game, and they turned it into kind of like one of those shooting galleries that you'd play at like Six Flags or the Carnival, to where when you hit the ball, as Miyamoto is going to take a swing here, you hit the ball and it hits an area, and there's interactive.
Sign him up for the Diamondbacks. He can't do worse.
But it has interactive elements to it, which I think is like really, really fun. And then they have,
I like it.
Yes.
This
then they
is
have
really neat.
Yes. They have a light gun game where you can play with the Super Scope or the Zapper, which is very, very cool. And you play like a shoot 'em up game where you just go around, or I guess like a, not a really shoot 'em up game, but you're shooting and you're shooting all the stuff like Hogan's Alley almost, which is really, really neat. I saw this and I am beyond excited to check this out. And if they did one of these in Europe, oh my God, or in specifically in the United States, maybe New York or
New York or LA or San Francisco or something, some big city.
They also have, and this looks very, very fun. You can play classic games on giant controllers.
Or here's an idea. Don't they have a Nintendo themed like land in, is it Disney World or something?
No, it's in Florida.
Universal.
You could take this museum and replicate it there as part of the attractions.
Oh my God, that'd be spectacular.
Japan has this, and Japan also has Nintendo Land at Universal Japan.
So take a look at this really quick. As you're playing with the old Famicom controller down here, and they go through and he's playing with a staff member, and they get the flagpole, and that's fun. But look at the people in the background here. Look at all the old controllers that they're playing with, specifically the Wiimotes that they're playing. Like they're holding the Wiimotes up.
Awesome. Teamwork.
And that's still like half the size of an original Xbox controller.
The Duke. But like they've only showed off 3 of the interactive elements of this. But man, I got to be honest, this gets me excited. This really does.
The
You can make
food,
your
the
own
cafe.
hamburger. Yeah, man.
I'm
Make your own
excited. Like they have all these type of foods that like Universal Japan, like Nintendo themed, like
Mhm.
mushroom soup and everything. I'm excited. for the food.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Now-
so I actually looked into like the tickets for this, and since it's Japan, it's based on a lottery. So like you have to like try to get tickets, and then if you get it, then you gotta
Wow.
pay.
Jesus, like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. What is this crap?
Yeah, so if you actually go, you can show them the process, Craig. When you click on like buy tickets, they'll be like, by the way, here's a lottery. It's like, what? Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. You know what would be really cool, Blabs, is to potentially, and I don't think they'd ever do this, but it would be very cool to go to Japan, do the show from the Nintendo
There.
Museum.
The cafe. We can have soup while we stream.
Oh, that'd be so.
I've never seen anyone. I don't think you're allowed to be this excited over soup.
I love soup.
I'm
Now-
picturing Shigeru Miyamoto walking through here going, the snozberries taste like snozberries.
Now there was actually a very important thing that happened during this presentation. This video of Shigeru Miyamoto guiding you through this. How do you pronounce what the Nintendo console that came out in the 80s, Razor? The Nintendo Entertainment System. How do you say that shorthand? Like if someone's like, hey, I'm going to go play, you say, I'm going to play the Nintendo, I'm going to play the NES, I'm going to go play the NES, right? How do you say it?
Nintendo. It was always Nintendo.
Okay.
Which unfortunately created a precedent for your parents, because from then on, every console they got you at Christmas was a Nintendo. It didn't matter what it was.
So Shigeru Miyamoto confirmed the proper way to say it. It's primarily the difference has been the NES, which is, I hear that all the time when it comes to
Sounds
people.
like you're sneezing.
Well,
NES?
primarily in Europe, I think that's where most people said it was the NES. I didn't hear it a whole lot in the States, but I've heard that from people who over in the UK in particular.
Yeah.
But Miyamoto confirmed that it's actually the NES.
Yeah.
So you say, I'm going to play the NES for short. Confirmed by Nintendo. My entire childhood has been validated.
Yes!
And that was spectacular.
Suck it, Euro trash.
That's right. All yellow. Ridiculous.
America stay winning.
That's right. Always love it. So anyways, I'm beyond excited for this as a Nintendo freak. This seems like that's something that'd be really cool. And if it's Nintendo, it's going to be quality. You know that. We used to be able to say that about companies like Disney. We can't say that anymore.
No.
And I very much fear the day that Miyamoto dies, because I hope that Nintendo doesn't take that step back in quality. But they're going to do a good job on it. So, all right, let's go ahead and let us go. Let's go.
I think you're supposed to say, let's go.
Let's go. Andiamo.